Good morning, students. It is Monday, November 9th, and we are going to start our new unit, which is mythology. So if you are in group A, you're going to get this today in class. If you're in group B, you're going to use the digital version that is online in our Google Classroom. And if you're a distance learner, you're just going to do the digital version as well. I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started. All right, so third unit of the year is mythology. And so we're going to talk about what is a myth. A myth is a story with an unknown author. It is from a very long time ago, which is what contributes to us not knowing the actual author. And they have two things it tries to do is it tries to answer questions about how things began. And it also has another thing it tries to do, which is teach the difference between right and wrong. Lots of times myths are going to teach you the proper way to live. Elements of a myth. So we've talked about elements of fiction, elements of nonfiction. These are the elements of a myth. The characters are going to be mortals or humans and gods and goddesses. And usually those gods and goddesses are angry or unforgiving. There is going to be conflict, and usually it's between a mortal and a god. There's an idea of punishment and reward, meaning if you make bad choices, you get punishment. If you make good choices, you get a reward. Generally, there are some examples where it goes differently than that. They're going to have a very strong theme or message that teaches right and wrong. And oftentimes, but not always, they're going to have an explanation for a natural phenomenon like rain or the sun or storms or a rainbow. Remember, pause my video at any time when you are writing and or typing, but I'm going to keep going. The purpose of a myth. Now, there are three options for this, and for your exit ticket, you're going to have to tell me one of them. The purpose of a myth is either to explain how something was invented or began. Second purpose is to teach lessons or values. Like I said, mortals that are good are rewarded and mortals that are bad are punished. And the stories reinforce good behavior. And finally, they're just meant to entertain. They are stories that are passed down orally most of the time, and therefore they're entertaining and people want to hear them. The reading skills we're going to talk about in this unit are figurative versus literal language. And this is the fun stuff. A lot of students really like figurative versus literal language. Figurative language is when your words have a deeper meaning behind them. For example, the leaves danced slowly to the ground. But literal language is when your words mean exactly what they say. The leaves fell from the trees. In that first example, you're giving kind of more colorful language that the leaves are still falling, but it looks as though they are dancing. And so you're using figurative language. They didn't literally dance, they figuratively danced. But what did they literally do? They literally just fell from the trees. We're going to talk about this more, and we're going to do a couple of examples. You know me, we always have an example activity. Let's do our literal and figurative language practice. There are 4 examples here, and like always, you're going to connect the ones that are either figurative or literal. Excuse me. The grass looks green. Does that have a deeper meaning, or does it mean exactly what it says? If it means exactly what it says, then it's literal. I think it means exactly what it says. It's literal. The grass looks green. I just ate 1 million cupcakes. Does the author actually mean that they ate 1 million cupcakes, or did they eat a lot and they're using an exaggeration to make it be a lot? I just ate 1 million cupcakes is figurative. You did not eat 1 million cupcakes. That's not possible. The wind sang of a soothing song. Is that literal or figurative? Did the wind literally sing? No, that is figurative language. And then finally, the flower smells sweet. Is that figurative or literal? Literal, just how it smells. Again, we're going to do a lot of practice with this, but we use figurative and literal language all the time. So it's something that you've seen before. One of the other things we're going to practice with this unit is summarizing. Summarizing is creating a shortened version of the text that includes only the important points. So 3 steps. You need to read the text all the way through, just like we did for main idea, read the whole text. Number 2, you're going to identify the important words, phrases, and ideas. And number 3, put all of those ideas in your own words to create your summary. We're going to practice this a lot. It is a skill that takes a lot of time to learn, but it's something that we're going to get some practice with in this unit specifically. And we're going to spend some time summarizing a lot of different myths. The other piece, one of the elements of fiction that we didn't spend a lot of time on, it was one line in our notes for fiction and the elements of fiction, was this idea of theme. So finding the theme. To review, because we brought this up for like 1 second in the fiction unit, the theme is the lesson or moral that the author is trying to show the readers about humans or life. And the author usually reveals the theme in one of these ways. Either it's a lesson learned by the character, that happens most of the time. It might be something a character often says, like if they keep repeating this phrase, it's probably important. Or finally, a statement that the narrator makes at the end. Let's do some practice with theme. We have 2 examples, and I want you to think about what the theme might be. A novel tells the story of a boy who wanted nothing more than to be famous. One day, he actually becomes famous and discovers he actually wishes he had his old life back. What is a possible theme for this? Maybe to appreciate what you have, or the grass is always greener on the other side, or sometimes you don't, what you want isn't actually good for you. But I think something to the effect of appreciate what you have now, because when it changes, you might not like it as much. All right. A short story makes the tale of a girl who always makes fun of another kid's haircut. One day she gets gum stuck in her hair and they need to cut it out, leaving her with a lopsided haircut. The kid she made fun of before is the only one who doesn't laugh at her. What do you think could a possible theme be? Maybe treat others as you would like to be treated. So in this story here, the girl learns a lesson that if you treat others the way you want to be treated, then when you're in that position, you'll be treated well, or at least you will have one kid who will not treat you so poorly. And then here, what is it trying to tell us? This boy, it represents a bigger idea about humans in general. So it's not specific to just this boy, is that it's something that we all as people can learn. So this boy and this girl in these 2 stories is trying to give us a bigger theme about humans. It's something we can all learn. Okay, so that's as far as we're going to go today. Tomorrow we're going to spend some time on a couple of myths, and we're going to be doing notes on myths the rest of the week. Okay, all right, I'm going to head out for today, and I look forward to seeing you in class and online. Thanks. Bye.